Good morning. I'm Molly Swain, and I am visiting in Seattle, Washington with Sister Jacqueline Fernandes here at Providence Mount St. Vincent.
My name is Sister Jacqueline Fernandes. I'm 81.
It's amazing as we sit here today that we're thinking about celebrating the Mount's 100-year anniversary. I was curious to know, what do you think about the sisters' vision back in that day to build such a special place to care for the elders, and as it turns out later on that we would have children here as well? What comes to your mind when you think of their vision back in 1924?
Well, I think that was a smart move for the sisters. And even when they were here as the provincial administration, we also had some elderly women living here on one of the floors, I understand. I did not make my novitiate here. I did mine at Providence Heights, but when I was a young sister, I used to come and visit the sisters here at the Mount in 1964. So I'm glad that we still have this place because there's a need. It seems to me nowadays they want to have people stay at home and taken care of. But I don't think that's really possible in some situations. If they don't have any family members, this is a good place for them to be taken care of. And I'm glad, and I hope we continue another 100 years.
I do as well. And it's wonderful to think that we can continue that mission that the sisters established to serve the poor and the vulnerable, and that we have done that so well and with an excellent reputation. How do you feel about people having a place to come even when they've outlived their resources?
Well, I'm glad that we are able to assist them. And I think even though we do not have the sisters working here anymore, I'm very proud of the lay people that are working here because they will continue our legacy. And we are very lucky to have the people working here at Mount St. Vincent's, even though we don't have the sisters. And as long as we can help the people that need help, I think we should continue. And like you said, we have the children here now, and I think it's a good thing for the staff that are working here, that they can have their children here and they know that they are safe and taken care of.
It's beautiful to see how the children learn from the residents, and the elders are giving and receiving so much joy at the same time. It's interesting also when I look back at the history of the sisters that early on when they came here to the Northwest, one of the first to come to them was an infant child, and then later an elderly man. Do you have recollection of going back to when you were a young sister visiting the sisters here at the Mount? What do you remember about that time and the services that they were providing?
I was just learning, so it was hard sometimes to visit the sisters, and they were elderly and they were complaining and so forth of different things. And I would go back to the Heights and I would ask one of our sisters, Sister Mary Claire, who is a wonderful sister, I don't want to be like these ladies. And she said, no, you won't. You'll be the same as you are now. So I'm happy to hear that. But I enjoyed the sisters, just visiting with them and listening to their history.
What have you witnessed in that very diverse group of caregivers over the years in terms of how they have come to serve?
They're very good and very kind. When I started interviewing some of the staff, I emphasized to them a very important thing. We are all equal. Even if I'm a sister, I'm not higher than anybody else. This is our profession as a layperson, as a married woman, having a family, because God made us the same. We have to remember, nobody's greater than anybody else. It's just your profession, what you're in. And that's all it is. Because I see now the world is in so much turmoil, and that's so sad.
What have you witnessed as you've watched many sisters go through their final days?
It was very hard, especially the sisters that were my mentors. And sometimes if they can't respond, it's hard for me to watch them suffering. I try my best and be there for them, even if they don't recognize you, or just knowing that somebody's there with them. I think it's important. It's a learning process for me, but I enjoyed the 14 years that I spent there with them. I miss them.
When you reflect back on the sisters in the early day, of course, we've heard the stories of the sisters going on horseback to visit the miners in the gold mines to ask for gold, particularly on payday.
Uh-huh.
Did you feel as a young sister that philanthropy was just part of your work to help move the mission forward?
I think with my ministry, working with the sisters and purchasing things for her, I'm very good in bargaining because I'm from Hong Kong originally. So when I go and buy a car, I know how to bargain.
Thank you so much, Sister Jacqueline,
Oh,
for
you're welcome,
our
Molly.
time today and our conversation. And I value so much the opportunity to know you and so many of our sisters. And we humbly work to continue the work that was started.
And I thank you on behalf of the sisters.
Thank you. We'll keep working together.
Yes, we will.